want to welcome in all the family and friends who are watching the 2021 Short Course Senior Competition here on highschoolrewind.com. I'm Dusty Lister, be joined by Paul Larson, the president of Utah Swimming, in moments. As we get started first with the mile, we've got 7 heats, and this is heat number 1. We'll go alternating between women and men. And we should have a fun weekend. We'll have you all weekend right here on highschoolrewind.com. Don't worry about changing to any other website. We'll have the stream right here for you. And any questions or any feedback you want to give us, you feel free to hit us up on our social media channels at GNL Rewind. That's GNL Rewind, Game Night Live Rewind, on Twitter, Instagram, and also on Facebook. You can message me directly, Dusty Litster. That's DUSTYLITSTER on Twitter and Instagram. Be happy to talk with you and take any feedback you have, especially when we have these longer swims in a mile, and any feedback we have. I know that in Heat 2, we've got a parent that's in their second vaccination and not able to make it down. But joined now by Paul Larson. And Paul, we're going to have a fun weekend here at Senior State.
Yes, it's good to be here, have bright sunshine, and we're looking forward to a lot of fast swimming. Now we start with the longest event that is offered in swimming, but we're going to make it through it. All 7 heats tonight.
I rode 9 miles this morning on my bike. We're going to swim 7 miles here in the next 30 minutes or so.
It's going to take us a couple hours to get through it, but we will, and it will be exciting. But right now in the center of the pool, we have lanes 4 and 5. Just a reminder that at the top of your screen is lane 1, at the bottom is lane 8. So the way we're broadcasting to you, the top is 1, bottom is 8. And lane 4, leading right now, who's holding 31s, is Katie Andres. She was the 6A winner in the 500. And so now for the high school meet last week, now she's trying to show her talents this week with several different other events, including the mile to start with.
And not only did she win the 6A state championship in the 500 and 200, she's also now the 6A record holder in the 500 and 200. A swimmer she's swimming this weekend for Hilltop Aquatics High School at Sky Ridge. As again, we'll have you all weekend here on highschoolrewind.com. Hope you enjoy the commentary and hope you're able to enjoy the weekend, if you're able to make it down or not. But Katie Andres well in the lead, as Kaya Lawson just below her in lane number 5. Again, we'll go women and men to these 7 heats. Andrist sit on 31s. Again, we'll bring you updates throughout the swim here in the miles, as Paul's got a couple of things he's going to try to take care of as he's working on the meet. But so excited to be able to bring this to you this weekend, be able to enjoy swimming all weekend. Hope you enjoyed, those of you who were part of watching the 5A and 6A state championship swims. Paul took care of the 5A at Wasatch High School, and we both called the 6A championships out at Kearns. And we're excited to be able to bring them to you and be able to be here this weekend. We'll be back here for the meet at the end of March here at Dixie State. Quite possibly the most used pool in America currently. So last I heard, this pool is booked for swimming and even some water polo all the way through Memorial Weekend. So reason why the state championship meets couldn't be held here for the high schools is because they couldn't get in here. But Katie Andrus really swimming very, very well, especially for this first heat. We have a busy weekend here on highschoolrewind.com, and throughout the weekend, if you go back to that page, and as we're going through tonight, we're gonna have some basketball on here tonight. Girls State basketball tournament going on, both in 2A through 6A. As my Carbon Dinos got knocked out in the boys 3A, but anyway, you'll be able to see some of those games right here on highschoolrewind.com as well. But Andrus continues to be on that 31 pace. Best time coming in today was 17:52.80. In the boys heat, in the boys first heat, we're gonna have a fun one with Tanner Nelson, Reese Winter, and Evan Van Bronk, along with Danny Detchen. Jan Dvorsky as well, so we're gonna have a fun one. As fun as the mile can be anyway, coming up next after this first heat from the ladies. But Andrus continuing to hold that 31 split. Again, as you always hear me talk about being that positive part, just want to see these swimmers dropping time as they've had their year pretty, as we all know, all over the place, but being able to train and find pool time, and depending what county you're in and what pools are open and what opportunities they've had. We're just glad they're able to keep swimming, as we're feeling like there might be a light at the end of the tunnel as far as getting back to some type of normal. But again, trying to make sure all precautions are taken here at Dixie State University. I hope all you are happy, healthy, and strong wherever you want to be. Again, Andrus continues to hold that low 31 low. as we get started here today. I'll be able to, won't try to overanalyze things for you without Paul being next to me, but Ann just continuing to hold a 31 low pace on her splits. Again, that best time for her is 17:52.80. See how much she can drop down, along with Kaya Lawson. Her best time at 18:13.59. They are the top two. But we're going to be, again, Andrews holding that 31 low. The Paul, she's been consistent, been at 31.2 most of the throughout her swim. The last one 31.08. But Andrus, the fastest qualifier coming in. Seeing Andrus to stay in that 31 split there, Paul. Loss has been that 33 low. Again, our lanes from top of the screen to bottom 1 through 8. So lane 1 at the top of the screen, lane 8 toward the bottom. As the sun begins to set here, we'll light up our screen a little bit more. And it's been very consistent.
And we are approaching. Andrus is approaching the 1,400-yard mark. Katie Andrus is just 16 years old. The short course state record in Utah for 16-year-old girls is a 16:56 held by Casey Alvison from 2005. Andrus is going to be a little bit short of that. But she will have a best time. You may want to come to the course. Ladies, an iPhone from the locker room. An important course.
You know, unlike other pools we've been dealing with, parents that are watching the stream to know if their swimmers are losing their phones. That's why they're not responding or anything else. So the PA system is very good picking up here, but
Coach Stan Crump trying to get Katie to kick this last bit of the race. Hard to do after you've already swam 1,500, but he's still wants her to do it.
Now the bell lap for Katie Andrist. And that best time, 17:52. Katie finished right here. But we're going to get started with the mile on our weekend here at Senior State. Again, 7 heats, as Andrus will come in at a 17:07.61. A nice swim there by Katie Andrus.
A nice start for the women.
As I mentioned, she drops about 45 seconds. There's now the bell lap for Kaya Lawson, the swimmer out of Olympus Aquatics. And of course, Olympus will be back in this pool in the middle of March. We will be back here, as we mentioned earlier, at the end of March. And then comes Kaya Lawson, the 16-year-old Olympus Aquatic swimmer. Best time was an 18:13.59, and she comes in at an 18:00. Some more swimmers all hitting their final lap. The bell lap is in lane number 1, or probably lane 8 rather. That is Lauren Snyder from Wasatch. Her best time is a 19:15. And Snyder comes in at a 18:43.60. Nice drop there by Lauren Snyder. And Aflalo comes in at 18:46.80. Then Hansen, then Navarez and Hansen. And then we'll be able to wrap up as we will head to heat number 2. As the men will come into the pool, and this men's first heat, Paul, is going to be pretty quick. As far as miles go, pretty quick.
It should be an interesting race with Tanner Nelson and Reese Winter in lanes 4 and 5. So
heat 2. This is the men's 16:50 freestyle. In lane number 1, Logan Brown. Lane 2, Danny Denson. Lane 3, Evan Van Rockland. Lane 4, Tanner Nelson. Lane 5, Reese Winter. Lane 6, Jan Dvorsky. Lane 7, Brandon Brown. And in lane 8, Nico Morton.
So Tanner Nelson's best time in this event is 15:33, and followed closely by Reese Winter, whose best time is a 15:39. Now, Evan Van Brocklen, who had a great state meet there in the 5A boys, was the swimmer of the meet. And Evan's best time is a 16:05. but I'm sure he'd like to stay with Reese and Tanner. All Reese unattached Swim Utah in lane 5, and then Jan Dvorsky also from Swim Utah. Jan had a great meet. Don't want to overshadow his 500 free where he went sub 440, went 437 in the 6A meet, which was a great swim. Would have been a 6A state record if it hadn't been for Tanner Nelson going 430.
And of course, Tanner catching some media, including a 5-minute interview this week that you can find on Instagram at GNL Rewind.
Yes.
There's also another video that will feature Tanner Nelson that should get posted here pretty soon. But Ben, it was an impressive weekend for Tanner.
Tanner trying to establish his 27 pace. That's a very quick pace for the mile. I expected him to settle in at a 28, but he's ambitiously going for the 27 pace, which would really be a great swim.
As mentioned, Tanner breaking those records of the 500 and 200. He also holds the 100 breaststroke state record in the state of Utah in the high school. As continues to work toward that trial time, which will have a shot, I believe, at the end of March. We'll have a chance to try to get his trial time down.
That's right. So Tanner's time of 15:33.7, it was just off the actual state record, which is held by Darwin Anderson at 15:33.3. So Tanner would love to improve upon that 15:33, which is a very tall order. We'll kind of check and see how he's making progress by 500s. So
Tanner Nelson in lane 4, in lane 3, Evan Van Broecklyn, lane 5, Reese Winter. In lane 2, Danny Detchen.
Danny Detchen and Jan Dvorsky, very even there in 4th place.
Yeah.
But they're across the pool from one another in lanes 2 and 6 respectively.
I know we got a viewer up on Suncrest. Jim Detchen has got his 2nd vaccination shot this week, so he couldn't come down to be here this weekend. So hopefully Jim's able to enjoy the stream, supporting his son. And we know he's also on the stream right now. So Jim is on as getting Tanner out to a really strong pace.
So we're hitting the 500 mark. So to say how Tanner just split a 432 in his first 500. To say that he's going for it, he's going for it. So, you know, distance swimmers are different. Tanner, you know, he can just go. There is a point where he gets pain.
We can go. We talk about Van Broecklyn also. When you have these distance swimmers, when you have someone as fast as Tanner, I mean, you feel like it pull some of these other really good swimmers along with them, right?
Yeah.
That's my goal is because
and that would be the case in the 500, but at this point, Tanner is going to be lapping the field, it would appear, or that's what he's going to try and do. And so unless they're right there with you, there's not as much effect. But Evan is having a great start too.
Evan and Reese. Again,
so they're both doing their own thing, holding 29s now. And Tanner, the question is, how long can he hold on at 27s? And the answer is until this point where he just did a 28.0. at the 600 point.
We'll see where he sits coming back here. As I mentioned, right now it's second place and third place, Reese Winter and Evan Van Brocken. At fourth place, Detchen and Dvorsky. Unable to really see each other, right? Not unable to see that the 4 lanes between each other.
Yeah, probably not seeing each other.
But they're almost stroke for stroke. Tanner's now into the 28 range.
Which, holding 28s, he would likely go about a 4:42 for the 500. I mean, the goal here would be to get under 15:30. Kind of another for the elite swimmers to make their mark of more than a minute under. With the if you're holding 1 minute per 100, your time will be 16:30, and so trying to get over a minute under that pace is kind of the next elite level for someone like Tanner.
Again, our second heat, if you're just joining us, we got 7 heats coming here of the mile. We get started in the 2021 Senior State Championships on highschoolrewind.com. Dusty Lister and Paul Larson with you.
And just so that we could move things on a little quicker, we're going to combine heats 5 and 7 and get it down to 6 heats.
We welcome that.
Well, it took a little bit of running around, but we got it to happen.
So we'll start first with the event that's normally going to be seen as a punishment, but this one is a swim of choice. But Tanner Nelson out to a strong pace again with lanes 3 and 5, Van Brocklen and Winter, then followed by Detchen and Dvorsky. And again, our pool, as you're looking at on the screen from top to bottom, lane 1 at the top of the screen, lane 8 near side, as we will have that for you, have this all weekend right here on highschoolrewind.com.
So Tanner coming up on the 950 point. So his time of 15:33.70 was from juniors last year. During that swim, his first 1,000 was a 920. We'll see if he's improved on that today, and he's definitely going to be under 920. So for the swim that he had where he went to 15:33, he appears to be about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of that. So 9:15.08 for the 1,000, which means that his second 500 was a 4:42 point. So if he can continue to hold 28s, but he's sliding through the 28s right now. Started at the 28.0, he's up to a 28.6. He just has to keep holding 28s at this point, and he will easily go sub 15:30.
Again, Van Brocklen and Winter in lanes 3 and 5. I mean, they are stroke for stroke. Dvorsky a little bit ahead of Detchen. The 3rd and 4th. Probably for 4th and 5th. As Tanner still holding mid 28s. Winter just a little bit ahead of Van Brocklin. As that could end up being a race for second. Tanner continues to hold in that 28 range.
And great swims by Van Brocklin and Winter. They're both still holding just under 30, so 29s. .29 low for Reese Winter and 29.7 that time for Evan Van Brocklin.
Again, our pool going from lane 1 to lane 8 from top to bottom on your screen. In lane 5, that is Reese Winter. In lane 3, Evan Van Brocklin. As Winter has been picking it up here in the last couple of laps. As Nelson again staying that now to that 28 mid.
So at 13:33 with the 200 to go. So coming into the 1500 point, his third 500. His time on this 500 is a 4:46.9. So a 14:02, 4:46.92. So we have a 4:32, 4:42, and a 4:46.9. There's a lot of swimmers in this meet that would love to have their 500 at 4:46. He's done 1,000 before that. So now we're down to 100 left to go. So he's right at 14:30. If he brings this back in under a minute, he's going to be under that 15:30.
And he stayed.
There's less than 20 swimmers age 17 and 18 in the country that can go under 15:30 or have been this year.
And now the bell lap for Tanner Nelson. We can get down and back here for Tanner. On that turn, he was at 14:59. So he comes back in that 28 split. He'll be right there again, trying to get up below that 15:30. Is Tanner going to come in? It's going to be a special swim for Tanner Nelson as he comes in at a 15:26.89. To mention his time coming in from last year, as you mentioned, a 15:33.70. Smashed it.
And the difference was that was done at sea level. This is low for Utah, but is still, 2,900 feet. We're at 2,900, actually 2,920, I think is the official for this facility. So at that kind of altitude, a nice swim by Reese with a 15:57, and Evan at 16:02 improves on his best time. So a great swim there. And here's Jan with a Jan in with the best time also with a 16:07. He drops his time by 16 seconds. Danny Detchen, a 16:19, improves on his best time. So our top 5 swimmers all with best times, but we have a new Utah State record, a new 17:18 record, and a new overall Utah State record for anyone of all ages. That's the fastest anyone has ever swam here in USA Swimming in the state of Utah at a 15:26.89.
Special swim for Tanner Nelson as we're going to head to Heat 3. But Paul, as you got thoughts, you can share more and more about what that means is in the country.
Yeah. And with that 15:26.
Heat 3, women's 1650 freestyle.
That time appears to be the 17th fastest in the country this year. I know those coaches at BYU just cannot wait to get Tanner there. But he has some fun left to do here in the meet this weekend, and we're looking forward to it. And another big meet next month. We'll be back at this pool.
In lane number 2, Lauren Greenwell. Lane 3, Sage Patterson. Lane 4, Bridget Lane. Lane 5, Maya Hughes. Lane 6, Shayla Zolcic. And in lane 7, Sarah Olson.
Do you want to announce in that previous heat, that time by Tanner Nelson is unofficially a new Utah State record at 15:26.80.
In that previous heat, in heat number 2 for the men's 1650 freestyle, Tanner Nelson's time of 15:26.89 is unofficial. That unofficial time is a new Utah State record.
They'll keep the same lanes.
Yeah.
So now on to Heat 3. The fastest time in this heat coming in was there in lane 4 is Bridget Lane at a 19:17.75.
Interesting, the 3 swimmers in lanes 3, 4, and 5, their seed times are within 3/100ths of one another. You see that all the time in the 50 freestyle. It's very rare to see that in the 1650.
Now that our youngest swimmer in lane number 6, Shayla Zolcic, is only 12 years old out of West Valley Aquatics. And her time coming in is a 19:18.85. Always excited to see the youth. And again, those of you just joining us are, as you look at our pool, from top to bottom is lane 1 at the top of the screen, lane 8 at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you know where your swimmer is. Again, lane 1 at the top of the screen, lane 8 at the bottom. And Zolcic in lane 6, getting that 12-year-old. It'll be fun to watch what she does in this one.
This meet largely 15 and older swimmers, but anyone who meets the qualification time standard and is part of Utah Swimming is eligible to swim in the meet. The qual time for women for this event is 20 minutes and 11 seconds, so you have to have been faster than 2011 to swim this particular event. These swimmers pretty settled, 2 and 3. That's Greenwell and Patterson, followed by 4 and 5 and 7. They're all right together. That's Lane, Hughes, and Olson. And lane 6 is Zolchik.
Yeah, Zolchik, yeah. Again, a fun weekend coming up. But as Paul mentioned earlier, heats 5 and 7 will be combined. So we'll go to this is the heat 3, but 5 and 7 will be combined. So if you're expecting to see your swimmer in heat 7, they've been bumped up to heat 5. And we'll have them coming up soon. So again, heat 7 moving combined with heat 5 as we are now in heat number 3. But heat 2 for the women's 1650. Against lanes 2 and 3. Patterson and Greenwell staying right together. And then lanes 4 and 6, or 4, 5, and 6, I should say, are by each other as well. Lane, Hughes, and Zolchich.
So that's the 500. So our 500 times range from 535 to 543. So at the 500, we're still within 8 seconds across the field. So after that previous heat, that heat 2 where we had that fast 15:26, it's kind of makes things exciting for what we may be looking forward to this weekend. Of course, some of these swimmers also will be swimming the relay we have coming up tonight. We have the 400-yard medley relay, the longest of the relays we do here at the Senior State Championships. We have a 200 freestyle and a 200 medley relay that will be swam on Friday and Saturday. The relays will be swum tonight after this event. The relays will be swum as part of prelims.
Again, our leader still in lanes 2 and 3. Actually, how about Olson lane 1? If I get for or lane 7 rather. Take my eye off the ball for a second. And then Sarah Olson, 15-year-old, now leading here at the.
So. And I don't think there's any way that the swimmers there in 2 and 3 can see that lane 7 is taken over.
I don't think they have any idea, right?
Well, maybe. Lane 3 breeds to the right, coming to the start end, so it's possible.
We're aware of her right now, but lane 3 and lane 7. Olson Still leading here in that 15-year-old swimmer. Then Patterson and Greenwell at the top of the pool. Olsen's best time coming in was a 1934. And then Greenwell was a 1927, Patterson in 1917.
Olsen from Cache Valley Marlins. And Olsen now approaching the 900-yard mark. We'll check her time at the 1,000. She has continued to hold 34. Most of the field held 34s for that first 500 and have then fallen off that pace just a little bit. But Olsen has continued to hold 34s throughout.
She drops a little bit there. 33 high.
And both Patterson and Greenwell at 35s, but Lane in lane 4 has picked it up and is holding 34s again now. And so with that 34 pace has pulled near even with Patterson and Greenwell in lanes 3 and 2. So we got Olsen out ahead, and there at the 1,000, she was in a 11:19. So basically a pretty even split. In fact, she may have been quicker in her second 500, a 5:40. So basically 5:40, 5:40 for Olsen. And in second place, it's 4 lanes 2, 3, and 4 all together now.
There's still Olsen in the lead. And a nice job at Lane. She just swam her thing. The Park City swimmer. Bridget Lane. As 2, 3, and 4 can see each other. They can't tell the lane 7. And Olsen has swam so well.
Yes. We don't know, but I don't think they know that she's out ahead.
Just the way she'd like it.
Yeah.
Again, she continues to hold that 34. What was it, 34 high? Her best that we've seen lately was that high, the 33 high.
So Lane has picked it up.
Again, Olsen staying at 34. Getting things started first with the mile here in the senior state, the Utah swimming. The mile and then the 400-yard medley relay will be coming up after our 6 heats of the mile. Again, if you're just joining us and want to know where you are, if you have a child that told you they are in heat 7, they're now going to be swimming in heat 5. So again, if you have a swimmer that's going to be in heat 7, they're going to be in heat 5.
So the last heat of women and the last heat of men will be combined. So we're
Olson, Lane, and Patterson, and then Greenwell. And that's been the board for quite a while here.
yes. Olson now is doing 35s, and Lane has picked it up to 34. So Lane is slowly gaining now on Olson. So Lane in 4 and Olson in 5. No, correction. How about Lane
4 and 7? Yep. Lane, a 15-year-old from Park City.
Again, we're thrilled to be in this beautiful Dixie State facility. First time the Utah Senior Short Course Championship meet has been at this facility, but it's a very well run facility. It's a beautiful pool, and we're excited to have access to it.
Well, not only that, probably the most used pool in America. I was sharing that earlier. The booked all the way through Memorial Day, probably further now.
Yes, and so this pool has become a very popular venue. But if you are familiar with swimming and you see what a great facility it has to offer, being able to swim bulkhead to bulkhead, swimming bulkhead to bulkhead is the fastest possible way, because you don't have any water coming back on either end, because you've got bulkheads on both ends the way this is set. You have deep water the whole way, so there isn't a shallow portion. You have very wide lanes. This pool is 50 meters long and 25 yards wide, but so you have 8 lanes in that 25-yard width, so which is very nice to have your such wide lanes to swim in. And all of those add up to mean that it's a fast pool. And previously thought of the BYU pool as probably the fastest in the state, which is good, but based on the difference in altitude and all, I think that straight up that this has got to be considered the fastest pool, given you do get a little bit of an altitude adjustment normally swimming in Provo, but straight up, this is a very fast pool, and we're excited to have a time trial here on the Utah Swimming will be doing on the 24th of March to see if we can get some Olympic trial qualifiers.
Olson on the bell lap along with Lane and Lane 4 on her bell lap. And coming in also is Sage Patterson, but Olson, the 15-year-old out of West Valley, Aquatics has done a nice job. She's definitely going to improve on her previous best. Again, we mentioned earlier that was a 1934.76, and Olsen going to come in at an 18:51.26. Quite the improvement. And then also coming in lane 4 is Lane at 18:57, and her best time is a 19:17. And then in lane 3, Sage Patterson at a 19:06 and an 11-second improvement for Patterson, and then Greenwell at a 19:13 and a 4-second drop there for her. But Olsen, she's gassed, Paul.
Yeah.
I can see right here.
Well, she did just swim a mile.
She just swam a mile, and she swam it as fast as she's ever swam it.
That's
But,
correct. But
a terrific effort.
here comes the 12-year-old.
Yes, and Shayla Zolcic comes in. Her best was a 19:18. Adds a little time there, but we mentioned earlier, like to see the youth get in here.
Heat number 4, men's 1650 freestyle. In lane number 1, Matt Quackenbush, Olympus Aquatics. Lane 2, Max Peterson, Hilltop Aquatics. Lane 3, Callan Coons of Utah Valley Aquatics. Lane 4, Jared Hilton, Hilltop Aquatics. Lane 5, Isaac Vaughn of Utah Valley Aquatics. Lane 6, Mitchell Armstrong of Hilltop. Lane 7, Caleb Wynn of Hilltop. And lane 8, Chandler Meyer of Hilltop.
So in this, the second heat of men, all of these swimmers have seed times that vary between 17:13 and 17:31. So within 18 seconds, so within just over a length. So we expect them to stay relatively close together. Taking the early lead is lane 5 there. That's Isaac Vaughn. Who's a senior from Springville High School, just competed with his high school for 5A. Isaac, in addition to this meet, he'll come back at the end of March for that meet. And wrapping up his swimming.
So again, if you're just joining us, Tanner Nelson broke the state record in the second heat tonight with a 15:26.89. This second men's heat. Fastest time coming in this one, Paul mentioned earlier, Jared Hilton with the 17:13, and then Vaughn with the 17:13. But again, also, if you have a swimmer that that will be planning on being in Heat 7, will now be in Heat 5. So make sure that you're aware of that. You don't miss your child's swim.
The next heat is combined Heat 5 and Heat 7.
Is Mike Werner making sure to let everybody know that as well.
And so Vaughn trying to lock in his pace at a 30, which Isaac didn't swim the 500 at state this year, chose to swim the 200 freestyle and the 100 butterfly.
And of course, the way that things have been broken up because of COVID, that, you know, Tanner Nelson shared. If you want to watch that interview, go check out GNL Rewind on Instagram and Twitter. We talked about him changing his program at the Utah High School Championships because of the breakup of boys and girls essentially having their own sessions.
Yes.
You had to decide where you're going to swim and what you're going to swim because your timing was going to be different.
And we'll see if that comes into bear here for some of the swimmers. This meet is, because of COVID, is having to be run different than it has before. Luckily, because of the expansive nature of this facility, meaning we had enough room, we have significantly more room at this facility than where we have been in the past for senior champs. And so we were able to still have both the boys and girls together tonight, because our total swimmer count competing tonight was just over 200. But we have over 400 people entered in the meet, and therefore we had to separate the girls and boys. And so the prelims will be swum girls and then boys. We go girls, then boys on tomorrow, Friday, and then on Saturday, the flip-flop, it's boys, then girls. The girls can sleep in on Saturday.
That's just a chivalrous thing to do.
So coming up to the 500, and Vaughn's still our leader, holding about a 31. And he is just under still, so he's a 30.3 on that, with a 4:57 for Isaac for the first 500. He already has been under 5 minutes in his 500 time.
Again, if you're just joining us, our lanes 1 through 8, top of the screen lane 1 and bottom of the screen lane 8, just to make sure if you're just joining us, not disoriented. Again, lane 1 and top of the screen lane 8 at the bottom. It'll be fun to watch the variety of swimmers we're going to have. I can see Josh Scablin walking around, a Timke graduate.
We'll see him in a relay coming up. It is will be exciting here in the relays. You have a combination. You have swimmers that swim on different high school teams, but then come together on their club team. So we have a combination. Some of the names that if you follow swimming in Utah, some of the names that you heard at both the 5A and 6A meets last week coming together. We have 3A and 4A swimmers here too, but and so the relays actually here will be even faster than what we had at the state meet.
Again, lane 5, Vaughn still holding the 30. And Wynn behind him in lane 7. And then Hilton in lane 4.
Who swam the 200 IM, was the winner of the 200 IM individual medley in the 6A meet, and then swam the 500 also.
And Vaughn continuing to hold that 30 ever so slightly.
When normally 500, he, like Vaughn, actually swam the 100 fly. My bad. Was fourth in the 100 fly at the 6A meet. in previous years had done a 500. So Vaughn holding a 39.9, Wynn with a 30.3. Wynn is slowly gaining on Vaughn. We have 4 Hilltop swimmers. Hilton in 4, Armstrong in 6, Wynn in 7, and Iyer in 8, all swimming for Stan Crump in this event, the Hilltop head coach. So Vaughn and Wynn approaching the 900 mark, just over halfway.
Wynn seeming poised to maybe overtake Vaughn here.
Vaughn's doing 31s and Wynn's doing 30.5 or better, and he's gaining about half a second every 50. So as they approach the 1,000 mark, so that's a 10:06 and 10:07 respectively. Wynn is now even with Vaughn as they are at the 10:50 mark. 600 yards to go. Neither of these swimmers been under 17 before, but on track to go about a 16:50 if they can continue to hold it.
Well, let's Wynn.
So Wynn now out to a body length lead, just hanging on to the 30 points. And Vaughn having a great swim, doing 31s. Again, expecting that they're both going to be well ahead of their best times. In third place appears to be lane 4, that's Armstrong. No, correction, Hilton. Armstrong in 6. So Jared Hilton from Hilltop in lane 4 in third place.
Again, heat 5 is going to be that heat's going to be combined. We're combining the last women's heat and the last men's heat for heat 5. So heat 7 joining the heat 5. That'll be coming up next here on highschoolrewind.com. Make sure that if you got a family member you're wanting to watch that, another family member swim, then that next heat will be combined men and women. Heat 5. Wynn continue to hold that 30-point.
So Wynn still holding 30-point. Of course, Caleb Wynn, just a junior. And Wynn in lane 7 now coming to the 1,500-yard point. We'll check his split here. So at a 15:11, that is pretty impressive because he had been 10:07, 15:11. That's a 504 for that third 500 was faster than the second 500. So he knows he's getting close now, down to 100 left to go. Vaughn with 100 left at 15:51. He'll still be under 17, so he'll be happy about that. But so the bell lap for Caleb Wynn, and then it'll be the bell lap for Isaac Vaughn. Vaughn in 5. And on the heels of Vaughn is Jared Hilton.
So in comes Caleb Wynn. Looks that first time was a 17:19. He comes in at a 16:41.06. Nice swim by Wynn as Vaughn comes in at a 16:51. A nice drop there by Vaughn, and then Hilton at a 16:54. Win there by Wynn, Hilton, and Vaughn in the Hilton.
Quackenbush in lane 1 finishes with a 17:02, 26 seconds under his best time. Peterson and Coons at 17:18 and 19, just right near their best time.
Heat 5 and Heat 7, the women and men's 1650 freestyle. In lane number 3, Emily LeVole from Park City. Lane 4, Lauren Bigelow of Park City. In lane 4, Caitlin Riddle of Kearns. In lane 5, Cody Jacobson of Lehigh. Lane 6, Nathan Dutton of Hilltop. And in lane 7, Corbin Laws of West Valley.
I see.
So again, we have the last heat of girls in this event in lanes 2, 3, and 4. and what would have been the last heat of boys. We will have one more heat of boys after this, heat 6, but we combined heats 5 and 7 just to save ourselves an extra heat of the mile, and so that we can get on to our exciting relays that are coming up. The women's, and followed by the men's 400 medley relay. We will have 3 heats of each, and that will be a nice way to end the evening.
Against the bob in the pool. If you're just joining us, lanes go one at the lane 1 at the top of the screen, lane 8 at the bottom. So our men at the bottom of the screen, the lanes 5, 6, and 7, and the ladies in lanes 3, 4, or 2, 3, and 4. Currently, it is Cody Jacobson and Jacobson and Dutton. Well, Dutton, a 14-year-old. So Dutton and Laws both 14. Jacobson 19.
Dutton, another hilltop swimmer. Stan Crump having a number of his swimmers in the distance events. Led by, if you missed heat 1, it was Katie Andrus. She finished in a 17:07.
As Anders has been swimming well. She swam well today. Mentioned the 6A state champion and the 200 and 500.
We apologize for the scoreboard. We combined the events, and so we confused the scoreboard, which couldn't take 2 inputs at once, and so it chose 1, which are the names from the girls' event, but they're shifted over by 1. So it's labeled Bigelow and Riddle, but they're actually in 2, 3, and 4. With 5, 6, and 7 being Jacobson, Dutton, and Laws.
Get one more heat of the mile after this one. As we come up on that, or come close to that first 500 split.
So leading the women is Riddle in this heat, and leading the men in lane 6 is Nathan Dutton.
Of course, Caitlin Riddle, we covered her this last weekend in the 6A state tournament. I say state tournament because I'm also covering basketball, but state swim meet. We did a basketball game last night at Bountiful, swimming this weekend. We'll go right into basketball on Monday. A busy week on highschoolrewind.com, and then we'll be going to kslsports.com for basketball. But hope you enjoy the swimming this weekend.
And Dutton still holding 30 points. His best time is an 18:24. Based on his first 500 at least, we would expect him to be 17 something.
Dutton again in lane 6. Again, I shared earlier, this is combined heats 5 and 7, and as Paul mentioned that the scoreboard couldn't take the 2 inputs, so they had to pick one. So the ladies again, lanes 2, 3, and 4. The men's in 5, 6, and 7. But the scoreboard couldn't get the names moved, so the names might not be in the right spot, but your swimmers are in the right lanes. Again, lane 1 at the top of the screen, lane 8 at the bottom of the screen. On the first splits, Dutton's been at 31.
But as we're now halfway through, he's at 850, 800 yards to go. Got back down to a 30 on that one. You got excited that he was halfway. Takes concentration for the full 15 plus minutes to complete the mile swim.
Again.
After this heat, we will have one more heat of the 1650. We'll have a very quick 10-minute break to get set up for the relays, and we will have our relay events. And we will be broadcasting again in the morning with the girls' prelims starting right at 8 o'clock, followed by the men's prelims at high noon. And our finals tomorrow night are at I had to check my schedule. Finals are at 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. for finals tomorrow. Warm up at 5:30. Meet starts at 6:30.
Again, we'll have all that for you right here at highschoolrewind.com. And then we'll be back with you again at the end of March. As we'll march into spring break So I hope you enjoy the coverage this weekend. Once again, Dutton on the lead here for the men's side.
So
The ass slipped a little bit.
Dutton split for the 1,000 was, I believe, just about at 10:20.
Leading the ladies is Caitlin Riddle. Caitlin's best time coming in was a 19:43. So the question is, you can be here before warm-up to get your mile in before everything starts tomorrow?
I don't know that that's going to happen tomorrow. Unfortunately, with COVID protocols and all, finding the right setup here, we just didn't want to push it.
Yeah.
We normally do try and do it. But I did swim this morning.
There you go.
So unfortunately, my time for the 1650 just didn't meet the qual time. I went about a 28 this morning.
But age group for Utah Summer Olympics?
There's still hope for me for the Utah Summer Games. And Nathan Dutton in lane 6. He's going to be about a 15:32, it looks like, at the 1500 mark. So here in lane 6, that's Dutton coming up on the 1500 mark, and he's at a 15:33. So his overall time is going to be just over 17, but his seed time is an 18:24, so he's going to be over a minute under his best time. On the women's side of the pool, that's Lane 4, Caitlin Riddle.
And now the bell lap
for Dutton. And he's in with a 17:06. So over a minute drop for Dutton.
Nice effort from Dutton.
The women, Caitlin Riddle with 150 to go. Her best time, 19:43. She's on track to go under that, right about 19 minutes.
Corbin Laws on his bell lap. As coming in lane 5.
Cody Jacobson.
Yeah, Jacobson with the 1750. And in lane 7 is Laws coming in at 18:09, so 17-second drop for Laws.
Here's lane 4, Riddle at her bell wrap and at a 17:50 and an 18:20 with a 50 to go, so she's going to be under 19 minutes. In lane 2, Liebold is going to be at about a 19:05. A little more than that, closer to a 19:10.
As Riddle comes in
18:52.
And for Riddle, that's a 50-second drop.
So a nice drop by Riddle. And here comes Emily Liebold with a 19:09. Correction, a 19:08. And Lauren Bigelow now on her last length. And next up will be the final heat of men, our final 1650 event.
Heat 6, men, 1650 freestyle. In lane 2, Ben Haas, Southern Utah Swimming. Lane 3, Nate Moyer, Hilltop. Lane 4, Brandon Burnham of Cottonwood. Lane 5, Devin Lonson, Barracuda Aquatics. Lane 6, Miles Morin of Olympus Aquatics. And in lane 7, Cache Valley Marlins, Jake Black.
Always interesting to switch between PA brain and broadcast brain. It's a little different read. So apologize if I get those things mixed up a little bit. But fastest time coming in this heat is in lane number 4, Brandon Burnham, the 17:32, the 16-year-old out of Cottonwood Aquatics. I didn't see Todd here.
Todd is here.
I didn't see the Mohawks. I couldn't quite.
Todd has shaved since last week and he's right here on the pool deck and just Todd Etherington, the coach of Chat, or Cottonwood Heights Aquatics, and also Brighton High School. And his traditional hairstyle for the state swim meet is a bright blue mohawk.
Yeah, he didn't have the goatee this year. I didn't recognize him when he took his mask off and he was clean shaved. I was a little surprised. Of course, he was the PA announcer for the 6A
Yes.
meet.
So Todd did double duty, both Wasatch for the 5A meet and Kearns for the 6A meet.
You and Todd. I mean, I was just hanging out
Yes.
6A. I want, Paul's driving out to Heber and then come back out to Kearns.
So coming up after this last heat of 1650 freestyle, we'll have a short break and then your women's 400-yard medley relay and the men's 400-yard medley relay. Previewing those events, we'll have 3 heats of each, but it will be exciting to see the top. Right now, our top 5 teams to be looking at in the women are Southern Utah, Wasatch Front Fish Market, Hilltop, of course, with Allie Hill and Talia Thomas, among others. Olympus Aquatics, and with several of the Olympus high school swimmers, and then Utah Valley Aquatics, combining swimmers from Timpview and Springville, along with Anna Iyer. On the men's side, coming up, we will have a couple of teams from Olympus. They're hoping to get more than one team in the top 3 or 4. Lehigh Aquatics also. Their coach, Michael King, will be doing the breaststroke. And then Utah Valley, if you missed it earlier, Tanner Nelson set a new state record in the 1650, going to 15:26.89. But Tanner will be sporting his backstroke expertise in the relay, leading off the relay with the 100 back. So we're looking forward to see what that split may be. So here, coming to the 450 point, leading this heat is lane 4.
Brandon
Burnham from Cottonwood Heights. And so coming in at the 500, he's just over a 500. He's at a 505, 504.73, make that.
Well, he's trying to hold some lane 4 pride as lane 4 in the mile.
Yeah.
Got beat up a little bit here. But again, if you're just joining us, orientation of the pool, lane 1 at the top of the screen, lane 8 at the bottom. And this is our final heat of the mile. We've made it. We'll end up doing 600, or probably 6 miles. Not 600, but 6 miles instead of 7. We'll combine the last men's and last women's heats. Burnham continuing to hold that 31. They're not at 31 low and 30 high.
So Nate Moyer in lane 3 trying to stay with our leader, Brandon Burnham.
Always enjoy watching swim coaches. I don't know that you ever see a slow down look. Everyone needs to go faster. Man, I coached first base for years, and there's certain times that, whoa, hey, just take a turn. Not telling you got to take off,
No.
but not in swimming. Not in swimming. Everybody needs to go faster. Let's go. Stronger. Let's go. Stan Crump trying to get Moyer to get going.
The best you can get is a hold strong.
Right.
Now Stan's pointing.
But he's giving the
pointing,
hold strong.
trying to
Let's
get-
go.
Pointing at the swimmer in lane 4. He wants him to stay with him.
But Brandon Burnham get on that turn, and Moyer right on his hip. When we talked last week about a lot of thinking during the 500, the thinking during the mile, I mean, just as much about mental as anything else, right?
Yes, it is. And you got to stick with it for those 15 plus minutes. Moyer catching Burnham.
And Moyer right at the crook of the arm right now of Brandon Burnham.
And so they're both right at 31s. As they approach the 1,000 mark. So lanes 3 and 4 are our leaders. Will be coming in on 1,000. So we're at a 10:18 and 10:19 respectively. So they're going to be very close to 17 minutes. I'm sure they'd like to go under that.
Moyer had taken over from Burnham. Now about a body length. There's a base coach signal I recognize. So let's round it and go. Moyer still holding that 31s. How much more of a change when the swim coach is wanting you to go faster? How much time are you looking? Is he wanting you to drop? I'm trying to understand that part.
Well, we'd like to see consistency from 150 to the next. And so it's usually more of trying to hold the pace. Now, notice a lot of these swimmers, you didn't see a coach jumping up and down to get Tanner to go.
Right.
They have it in themselves, and they know. I think you see it a little bit more in your younger swimmers, and of course, your less experienced distance swimmers, they just don't always know exactly how to hold their pace.
Again, the relay is coming up next on the 400 medley relay. We'll start with the ladies first, 3 heats, and then 3 heats of the men's, and we'll close out tonight. And we'll be back with you tomorrow. Stream time will start around 7:30. Warm-ups are at 7. Is that right?
Warm-ups at 7.
So we will not stream the entire warm-up. We apologize. You know, many parents want to watch the entire warm-up to see what the swimmer's doing the first thing in the morning, but we'll have it up around 7:30 or so. Preston doesn't want to get up that early and get here. So 7 o'clock. We're not going to make Preston do his internship work too early. But we'll be set and ready to go probably about 7:30 when that stream will start. But definitely be ready for the 8 o'clock start tomorrow morning for the prelims. But Preston's got to make sure I get up and get my ride in the morning.
Moyer approaching the 900-yard correction, make that the 1,400-yard mark. Stan would still like to see him at that 17-minute mark. That's a tall order right now, but we'll see what he's got. So with 200 yards to go, at 17:57, he's got a chance to make it under 17. He's got to hold 31 or better. If he averages 31, wouldn't quite make it. It's got to be under that. So at 15:28, with a 150 to go, which means he's got to be 30.5, averaging 30.5 for his last 150 for Nate Moyer to be under 17. His coach is trying to get him to go. With a 100 left, he's right at 15:59. He's got to be a 101, under a 101. In that last 100.
And the bell app now for Moyer. Again, this is our last heat of the mile. And we'll go into the 400 medley relay for the women and then the men. And in comes Moyer at a 16:57.66. They got pushed that whole time by his coaches, and now they're pleased getting under a 17 for the 15-year-old out of Hilltop. And then coming in lane 4, Burnham at a 17:12. And for Burnham, it's a 20-second drop.
Stan Crump quite pleased with that.
Yes, he was.
Swim by Nate Moyer. The Hilltop coaches doing quite the work out there on the side.
Yes, it's a lot of jumping jacks.
Yeah. I didn't know Stan's knees were going to hold that.
That earns a steak dinner tonight out of Anasazi Grill. But every swimmer seemed to have a drop here in this heat in the final one. We got one swimmer left to go, and we will be moving on to the medley relay. As well as the bell lap coming up.
And Sue said this. Southern Utah swimming coach Sean King there on the side, getting the swimmer going. Sean also one of the coaches for Dixie State University here, an assistant coach there.
So we're going to have a 10-minute break. The relays will start at 7:40. That will conclude the mile heats. So we'll take a 10-minute break and we'll be back. You are watching the 2021 Senior State Championships for Utah Swimming on highschoolrewind.com.
lane 1, Lakeland Surfers. Lane 2, Kearns Youth Aquatic Team. Lane 3, Park City Swimming. Lane 4, Lakeland Surfers. Lane 5, Lehigh Aquatics. Lane 6, Cedar Swim Club. Lane 7, West Valley Aquatics. And in lane 8, Wasatch Swim Club.
Each team is allowed to have 2 relays, and that's why they have 8. So in the lead, after 50 backstroke, it's actually 8 and 4. Outside there in lane 4 is Wasatch Swim Club, that's Ashlyn Hicken. And in lane 4, it's Summer Nelson.
Yeah, so lane 8 is Ashlyn Hicken, lane 4, Summer Nelson. And we're still sitting on 8 and 4. It'll be lane 4 and Summer Nelson just ahead. As coming into the pool now is Sarah Nelson for Layton, then in Emma Lay for Wasatch. We'll go to the breaststroke. Again, the way you're looking at the lanes, lane 1 at the top of the screen, lane 8 at the bottom.
Here in the championship meet, we have 16 places that score. So this relay being a time final, each team is allowed up to 2 relays and 16 places scored.
And lane 4 really spacing themselves out now. And that is Sarah Nelson's having a good split here. But got to look down on lane 5 and lane 7 is Lehigh and West Valley. Myra Miller from West Valley in lane 5 is Maddie Wilkinson. Gaining a little bit of ground. And also lane 2, that's Caitlin Riddle. Somewhere out of Kearns. So coming in the pool now in lane 4 will be Lauren Hall. As we are tight, nice close in lane 5 by Maddie Wilkinson. Sarah Gill in the pool for Lehigh. We go to the butterfly in lane 7. It is Stephanie Pravenovich. And in lane 4 getting a little bit more of a lead. Lauren Hall. But it's lane 5 and lane 7 in behind him for second. Sarah Gill and Pomprzenovich.
Sarah Gill putting Lehigh now in second place in this heat.
As coming in, Lauren Hall going to turn it over to Shannon Foote. And Foote comes in for the anchor. 18-year-old, and then the lane 5 coming in is Mary Burnham for Lehigh. And then coming in early all together, lane 2, lane 7, and lane 8. That's Jade Updike, Isla Shaw, and Maya Shea. Or Shea, rather. We know Updike's got is a fast swimmer. Saw her last week in the 6A meet. As Mary Burnham trying to hold on to second place, but up in lane 2, that's Jade Updike, the 17-year-old. Is on the turn and coming in, going to take this heat, is Layton Surfers. This is their A relay, A and B in here. They're going to have 2 relays, as it'll be Layton Surfers coming in with his 4:16.38, and then lane 2 is Kearns with 4:21.71, and Lehigh with the 4:22.28.
Swimmers, please exit by lane 8. Please exit by lane 8. Heat 2.
The nice start in lane 3. That's Kearns, that's Anna Weckluck. Her older sister is a strong swimmer as well. You also got to keep your eye on lane 8. That's Southern Utah Swimming. That's Kinsley Messenger, the 15-year-old. Right now it's in second. Is Weckluck going to come in? And it'll be Marissa Visser coming in for Kearns.
Weckluck in a 59.0, under a minute. Nice split. Nice lead off for the Kearns team.
For the Southern Utah Swim Association coming in is Olivia Jenkins. In the breaststroke, but it's lane 7 taking over lane 8, and that is Kylie Reynolds. Here comes lane 4. That's Orem Timpanogos. That's Annie Robinson, the 16-year-old breaststroker, with a nice pulls on this first 50. And if she holds, it'll be the second 50. There could be a lead there in lane 4 for OTAC. They're still looking at lane 7. That's Kylie Reynolds, also lane number 2. The B relay for Olympus Aquatics, and that is Lauren Greenwell. Lane 4 coming in. There'll be Ringdress coming on now for OTAC. Gabby Ringdress, a 17-year-old. And lane 7, Cedar Swim Club, is Alexis Simpkins. And then in for Olympus is Malia Matsamori. And Dusty Lister and Paul Larson with you. And be with you all weekend here at highschoolrewind.com. Here at Senior State. Right now it is lane 4 and lane 2. Is Malia Matsamori trying to see if she can close down a little bit of room on OTAC's Gabby Ringdress. As Marin Kelly for OTAC can be coming on for the freestyle. They're trying to give him the win in this heat. The Matsamori at the nice split there. In lane 2, she's going to be bringing in a lead here, Paul.
She's even with her now and coming into the flags. It's Matsumori.
15-year-old putting on a nice split, and now into the pool in lane 2 is Olivia Cowan. And in lane 4 is Marin Kelly. Cowan is 16-year-old, Kelly is 17-year-old. Here, Coles now go down and back. And Cowan hang on. Final turn. So Kelly has a charge on it. Right now, it's that split from Matsumori. Brought in the lead on the butterfly, and it is Cowan bringing it home.
Yes, and so winning this second heat, it is the Olympus B relay with a 4:09.41.
Attack comes into 4:11.72.
Swimmers, please exit toward lane 8. Again, swimmers, please exit toward lane 8.
This next heat will be our third and final, our fastest heat.
Swimmers, listen, please. Swimmers, everyone, hold on a second. Listen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, when you come to the blocks, you have your mask on. When you leave the blocks, you put your mask back on. If you're not going to wear your mask, we're going to shut it down. Very simple. That's the only thing we have to do to keep this meet going is wear your mask. It's very simple. Let's be fair to everyone. If you're not concerned about yourself, great. Think about your teammates and everybody else.
Heat 3. In lane 1, Cashdown Marlins. Lane 2, Utah Valley Quads. Lane 3, Utah Quads. Lane 4, Utah Valley Quads. Lane 5, Olympus Quads. Lane 6, Wasatch Front Fish Market. Lane 7, Southern Utah Swim Association. And lane 8, Lehigh Quads.
And out to the early lead, it's lane 7. That's Sousa's Caitlin Rompery.
We'll start here from Rompery, and then lanes 4 and 5. That's Reichner in lane 4 and McWilliams in lane 5. Of course, Reichner, the granddaughter of Dave Rose, a former BYU basketball head coach.
Yes.
Daughter of Luke Reichner, played at the Y, and she's coming on strong here in lane 4. But it'll still be lane 7 into Rompery as Kylie Messenger comes in for Southern Utah. In lane 4 is Audrey Weller. In lane 5, Madeline Morin. So looking 4, 5, and 7. We'll be close on the turn on this first 50. Right now, Levy looking like lane 4 and Audrey Weller. Oh, it was lane 5.
So it's very close with Weller and Moran. Weller just a slight lead at the turn.
Gaining just a little bit. It'll be 4 and 5 almost simultaneously as we come in to the butterfly, as it'll be Sarah Wall for Olympus Aquatics and Ellie Boyer for Utah Valley. As the middle of the pool separated themselves, and lanes 4 and 5 between Utah Valley and Olympus Aquatics.
So it's Ellie Boyer, who was the 100-yard butterfly champion of 5A. And Sarah Wall, who got 4th at the 5A state championships. So both experienced butterflyers. But it's Ellie Boyer with the slight lead, who will turn it over to Anna Iyer for freestyle and Kaya Lawson for Olympus.
These two 15-year-old butterflyers, you can see a lot of each other. Is now coming in the pool for Utah Valley's Anna Iyer, and coming in for Olympus is Kaya Lawson. So what, and Anna Iyer just turned it on in that first 25.
Yes, Anna Iyer, the commit for Columbia. Very strange COVID year. In 3rd place, it appears to be lane 3. That's Hilltop Aquatics. Talia Thomas now in the water.
So now bring in Iyer, and BYUV Rays at 3:54.66. Olympus Aquatics at a 3:57.95. And in lane 3, Hilltop Aquatics at a 4:02.32.
Please exit toward lane 8, and please exit toward lane 8. Make sure you have your masks with you. So please make sure you have your masks on to the blocks. Make sure you put the masks back on when you leave the blocks. And exit toward lane 8.
And now for the boys. We'll first have heat 1 of the men, 400-yard medley relay.
Again, swimmers, remember, wear your masks as you come to the blocks. We'll wear our masks when we leave the blocks. Thank you. Heat 1 of the men 400-yard medley relay. In lane 1, Urban Youth Aquatic Team. Lane 2, OTAC. Lane 3, Lane Surfers. Lane 4, Southern Utah Swimming Association. Lane 5, Cache Valley Marlins. Lane 6, Sousa. Lane 7, OTAC. Lane 8, West Valley Aquatics.
How about lane 2 starting here, Paul? That is OTAC's Isaac Wells.
Yes, out in a 27. He should be well under a minute for his first split for the 100 back.
Nice start for the 18-year-old Wells. And coming in will be Dane Christensen. I don't know how many Dane Christensens there can be in Utah County. The third one I've known.
So Wells splits a 53-66. A nice start for the OTAC team.
Well, it's got OTAC in lane 7. It's Cooper Wadsworth down in lane 7.
OTAC in both 2 and 7 with their A team in 2 and their B team in 7.
We're lane 2 and then lane 5 coming on strong is Cache Valley. Jackson DeBose. DeBose might be taking a slight lead here on Christensen. And it is DeBose with the lead, bringing it into the butterfly. It'll be Tavin Dubon coming on for Cache Valley Marlins. So in comes Dubon for the butterfly. Now up in lane 2 is Cannon Shumway. He's got some ground to make up.
Nathan, you guys sit down.
And again, we're looking lanes 2 and 5. As lane 2 is Cannon Shumway, lane 5, Tavin Dubon. And it's still lane 5 in Cache Valley as we go into Tyson Farnsworth on the anchor. And also looking lane 4 coming on strong, and that'll be Ned Hill trying to track him down.
Ned Hill from Sousa is gaining.
We're gonna have a tight last 50 of this relay in the heat, in the first heat for the men's. But a strong swim in lane 5 by Ned Hill. Or probably Tyson Farnsworth, the 16-year-old. It'll be a battle for second place.
Farnsworth will hold on to win this heat for the Cache Valley Marlins B team.
And coming in second is lane 2. Sousa came in just barely ahead of OTAC. So Cache Valley, then Sousa, then OTAC in heat number 1.
Swimmers, please exit toward lane 8, make sure you have your masks on. And exit toward lane 8 with your masks on.
Next up is the men's heat number 2 of 3. Heat 2 of 3.
2. In lane number 1, Swim, Utah. Lane 2, West Valley Aquatics. Lane 3, Cedar City Swim Club. Lane 4, Cache Valley Marlins. Lane 5, Hilltop Aquatic Team. Lane 6, Wasatch Front Fish Market. Lane 7, Kearns Youth Aquatic Team. Lane 8, Wasatch Swim Club.
So out to the early lead appears to be lane 2. That's Angel Nunez Lanza from West Valley.
Angel Nunez Lanza saw him in the 6A swim meet last week, and now lane 1 popping up. That is Domingo Contreras. We also had that 6A meet. So we're coming into the breaststroke, lane 1, lane 2. Jan Dvorsky coming in lane 1, and Sonny Westman in lane 2. Dvorsky swam for West. Sonny Westman out of Cyprus in the high school season.
So Dvorsky swam the 1650 earlier, placing 4th with a 1607.
And Westman out strong in the first 50. Sonny Moore, that rapid stroker in the breaststroke. So now coming in, the butterfly in lane 2 is going to be Cone Smith. And then it'll be lane 4. There's a nice split there by Sonny Westman. It is Isaac Sorensen coming in for Cache Valley. Probably lane 3 would be Max Cannon.
That's Max Cannon, who's normally the breaststroke, but he's doing the butterfly on this Cedar Swim Club relay. And Max taking over the lead of Heat 2.
Yes,
so
he is.
Very strong butterfly. He splits a 25 on his first 50. So Max appears to be at about a 52 pace, a nice 100 butterfly for Max Cannon.
So Cannon will be turning it over to Tobler Dotson, the 16-year-old. Dotson can try to bring home this heat.
Max Cannon with a 53-4 split on the butterfly leg.
And then looking in lane 2, can they come back? Here's Andrew Shaw. But Dotson trying to hang on. Also looking at lane 6, coming on strong as well. There's Zach Richter. Does anybody have anything left? They're trying to track down lane 3. Doesn't look like it. Battle for second. Lane 2, lane 4. Shaw and Caliendo. And it'll be Caliendo able to get just in front of Shaw.
By 1/10 of a second. 1/10 of a second there. With Cache Valley in second and West Valley Aquatics in third place in the heat number 2 of the men's 400-yard medley relay.
Gentlemen, please exit toward lane 8. Members have your masks on. And exit toward lane 8. Please have your masks on.
This will be our final event of the night.
Heat 3. Lane Surfers, Lane 2, Wasatch Front Fish Market, Lane 3, Utah Valley Aquatics, Lane 4, Olympus Aquatics, Lane 5, Lehigh Aquatics, Lane 6, Olympus Aquatics, Lane 7, Utah Valley Aquatics, and in Lane 8, Lehigh Aquatics.
So in Lane 4, that's Josue, swam for Jordan, but in Lane 3, that's Tanner Nelson with the 5A 100-back winner Jacob Reese in Lane 2, swimming for Wasatch Front Fish Market.
Quispe and Nelson close to each other, and again Lane 2.
So Nelson out in a 24. Is it enough? He'd hope to go 50.0 or better.
Brings in Levi.
It's a 50.2 with your fastest split for the backstroke.
And that brings in Levi Jensen in lane number 3 for Utah Valley. In lane 4, that is Alexander Turney. And in lane 2, that is Alex Yanelli.
Turney was your 5A 100 breast winner and new state record holder with a 55.60, an All-American, automatic All-American time. Trying to catch Levi Jensen from BYUV Rays.
And right now it is Levi Jensen. And then coming in will be Josh Skablin in lane 3. So in comes Skablin in lane 3, and then Evan Brown Brocklin in lane 4.
The senior record in this event is a 3:22.80 from Fish Market in 2018.
Van Brocklin turning in a pretty good split here, Paul. Trying to track down Skablin.
Well, Van Brocklin with the All-American time in the 5A, winning the 5A 100 fly.
I believe it was Van Brocklin. We were here back in December, tracked down a 30-year-old in the butterfly. He's trying to track down Skablin. And it's going to be an even in for Trevin Staker in lane 3 for Utah Valley, and Ethan Astle from Olympus Aquatics in the freestyle. Just the way we want to finish it, in an absolute race.
And it's a close race for third place, but way out in front is BYUV Rays in 3 and Olympus Aquatics in 4.
We're going to have a fun finish again in lane 3. It is Trevin Staker, and lane 4 is Evan Astle.
Again, the Utah State record in this event is a 3:22.80.
Can Staker get it? It'll be a 3:22.50. BYUV Rays get it. Olympus Aquatics comes in second with a 3:23.26. Well ahead of the pace of anybody else at a 3:30.12 comes in Lehigh, just ahead of Olympus B at 3:31.61.
And that's unofficially with the new state record. In lane 3, BYUV Rays with a 3:22.50. Swimmers, please head toward lane 8 and please have your masks on. Again, as you're leaving the blocks and you're not swimming, please have your masks on. And the pool is open for voting.
So what an exciting finish to our first day of swimming here from St. George. With we had a record in the 1650 and another record in the relay. So it's an exciting way to start off. Just a recap for the 1650 women. Dusty, do you want to give us our top 8 finishers there?
Yeah. The top 8 finishers is Katie Andrist with a 1707, Kaya Lawson, Lauren Snyder, Lilia Fallo, Sarah Olson, Caitlin Riddle, Kayla Hansen, and Brianna Navarez.
And in the men in the 1650, again, we had a new state record.
Absolutely, and I'll read it in the right direction this time. The 8th place is Isaac Vaughn. 7th place, Caleb Wynn. 6th place, Nico Morton. 5th place, Danny Detjen. 4th, Jan Dvorsky. 3rd, Evan Van Brockland. 2nd, Reese Winter. And with a new state record time of 15:26.89, Tanner Nelson.
So tomorrow we will have the women's event starting right at 8 o'clock with the men's events at noon. And then we'll be on the air just after 5 o'clock for correction, just after 6 o'clock for a 6:30 start of our finals tomorrow night.
Absolutely. So a fun night tonight. Got the long events out. We're going to be back to some racing tomorrow. We'll have everything for you right here on highschoolrewind.com. We'll be back here bright and early tomorrow. 7:30 is when the stream will start during the warm-up, just so you know that it's going and that everyone's settled. We'll be right here on highschoolrewind.com all weekend. For Vince Francis and Paul Larson, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching the 2021 Utah Swimming Senior State Championships at Dixie State.